First warning, live radar is going to come in pretty handy tomorrow night as we watch a big batch of thunderstorms come in. Tonight, it's already been very stormy with some large tornadoes up in Illinois and Indiana. A lot of severe storms running from Quincy down to Kansas City, Missouri, through Kansas, down through Oklahoma and Texas. All this is going to settle down tonight as it moves into Arkansas and Mississippi and Tennessee, but it will flare up again tomorrow night. The outlook here from the Storm Prediction Center, look at that, the enhanced level 3 out there from San Angelo all the way up toward the Chicago area, and then still a moderate risk of severe weather where more tornadoes could develop over northern Illinois and western Indiana. Watch the storms tonight, really racing toward Detroit, down through St. Louis, Little Rock, and Dallas. Now, this is 1:30 tomorrow morning, and we'll stop the clock again right about 6 o'clock in the morning around here. No rain, no storms. So the first half of the day tomorrow looks fine. It will be breezy. It will be very warm, but it's the second half of the day when the storms that should be right on the edge of that outlook by about 6 to 7 o'clock in the morning start to move southeast into north and central Alabama. So what do the colors here mean? It's always a dividing line issue, right? Is it West Jefferson County or is it Birmingham, or is it Tuscaloosa County or Bibb County or Cullman or Blount? What's the difference in the yellow and the green? Yellow, based on the Storm Prediction Center's definition of this, simply means more storms could be strong in the yellow as opposed to the green. But there's a catch to it. A storm could be just as strong at Utah as it is at Rockford, Jasper, as it is at Gadsden. It's not a measure of how intense they are. It's just a matter of how many of them might be on that severe edge of the spectrum. Here's how it's going to start. Tomorrow afternoon, about 3 to 4 p.m., some scattered thunderstorms will develop. Most of those not going to be severe. After 4 p.m. through about 8 p.m., a line of storms will start moving into Marion County, Franklin, Lawrence, Morgan, Limestone, Madison. After 7 p.m. through about 10 p.m., that's approaching the Birmingham metro. And you notice there's some overlap here from about 9 to 2 a.m. It's when we think storms sag south toward Tuscaloosa and Birmingham and then start building in from the west. So that becomes a pretty key point between that 9 p.m. and 2 a.m. time frame. So watch this. Here's the future track. Isolated storms, probably not severe, but maybe a little heavy. Some small hail wouldn't be out of the question. Jasper to Cullman over Smith Lake tomorrow afternoon. That's if that storm is exactly where it's projected. 7 p.m. we've got a line of showers and some thunderstorms. It doesn't look all that significant at that moment, but then I've circled the area here where I think there's the greatest concern for Wednesday night and early Thursday morning. This burst of energy comes in and there's a boundary that sets up. Rain-cooled air to the north, very warm, unstable air to the south. And as this follows that boundary, we'll have to watch out for large hail, strong damaging straight line winds, as well as the risk of a spin-up tornado. Now, there's one way to look at this using this product that shows us how strong and how intense a rotation might be in a storm. So watch this. As we start interacting with that boundary late tomorrow night, look at there. We start getting stronger storms that are potentially rotating Shelby, Chilton, Bibb County. So we're going to watch that very, very closely late tomorrow night through Thursday morning. After that, we're done with severe weather for a while. We will rebound a bit after being cool Thursday back to the 70s Friday, Saturday, Sunday, but then a freeze is possible with a low at 31 next Tuesday morning.